NBC News, which was once a real news organization, is one of a list, right, of different mainstream media organizations that has been constantly trying to ramp up terror in regards to the Wuhan coronavirus. They've done it for months. NBC and, frankly, all the rest that I can think of. Well, one of the people that they use to try and accomplish this, to try and maximally terrorize the people, is a Dr. Joseph Fair. They have brought him on, that's NBC, nearly a dozen times. Why? Because this particular doctor got sick. And NBC said that he was sick with the Wuhan coronavirus, or as they called it, COVID-19, or just the coronavirus. In any case, they presented him as a healthy person who became extremely sick. They talked about just how healthy he was in his mid-40s, and he jogs daily, or did, and yet he was hospitalized in terrible shape, almost intubated, and it turns out that the whole story was a lie. He never had the Wuhan coronavirus. At all. That's not what he had. And they knew because he never had a positive test for that virus. And so before I go on, I want to show you a short clip of this guy piling it on as NBC reporters coach him. Tell us just how bad it was. Just tell us just how badly you're doing, just how sick you are, and so on, as they try to terrorize people maximally so that they can use it to justify the authoritarianism that's going on, by mayors and governors around the country. All right, take a look.
We should point out, Dr. Fair, we said you're 42 years old. You run, before all this, 5, maybe up to 10 miles a day, a healthy guy. You hop on a flight going to New Orleans, and you said something that just struck me. You said that you think you might have gotten it, since you were all masked up, through your eyes. Tell us about that.
That's one of the 3 known routes of getting this infection that we just don't pay a lot of attention to. We tend to focus on the nose and mouth because that is the most common route. But, droplets landing on your eyes are just as infectious. And, of course, I wasn't wearing goggles on the flight. And I think Savannah reported yesterday, but it was very true. Airlines, they said they were social distancing, but they really weren't.
Yes, so you should be scared, at least that's the impression that you would get if you believed what NBC said, and I don't see why anybody would believe what they say at this point. At one point, this doctor said, and I quote, "If it can take me down, it can take anybody." That's what he said. In other words, this virus is just so bad and so destructive to healthy individuals, which we know isn't the case. We know if we look at the real data, that's just not true. But NBC News, alongside MSNBC, alongside CNN and so on, have been trying to make this virus sound like it's the Black Death. It's super deadly and attacks healthy people. They've been doing this, again, so that they can justify everything that's going on with especially Democrat mayors and governors. They've been, of course, the most authoritarian around. But I want to show you, he posted on Twitter recently, this doctor did, his admission that the whole thing was a lie. And he didn't put it like that, but let's take a quick look at what he posted. He said, "My undiagnosed/suspected COVID illness from nearly 2 months ago remains an undiagnosed mystery, as a recent antibody test was negative. I had myriad COVID symptoms, was hospitalized in a COVID ward, and treated for COVID-related comorbidities despite testing negative by nasal swab. I was severely ill for 2 weeks, 4 days of it in critical condition, resulting in pneumonia, diffuse lung injury, and 18 pounds of weight loss. My path forward is a second AB test and follow-up with a pulmonologist and tropical medicine specialist in an effort to diagnose what made me so ill." He hasn't been diagnosed with what made him so ill, and yet, in every splash banner in the lower thirds of that video, and in every single interview that I've seen that NBC did with him, they alleged that he had this virus, not that he might have it, not that he has a lung infection that might be anything. Not that he just has pneumonia, but that he has this virus, and thus you should be afraid, and thus you should stay 6 feet away from everybody, and you should wear a mask, and you should wear gloves, and you shouldn't go to church, and if you do, you're essentially a bad person. This is what they've been telling us. But notably, despite his admission here, there's been no, as far as I can tell, NBC correction. They certainly haven't given it equal time that they've given to using this guy to try and, I guess, propagandize? I mean, if they did a correction, I think it must have been like a whisper over a commercial, like, "It was fake news." Something like that. I don't think they did one, I really don't. But at this point, we should be so used to it, right? So used to the media lying, because this story, again, was a lie. I refuse to state that it was simply a mistake, because they stated that this was the Wuhan coronavirus. They stated that it was that. They didn't state that it might be or anything else. It was convenient, a very convenient lie that justifies everything that they've been telling us, you see. You know, it's, like I said, the Democrat mayors and governors who have been most authoritarian, especially against, Christian groups and so on, preventing churches from opening, preventing singing in church is the most recent attack on Christianity. The Democratic Party was once known for standing up for people's rights, was once known for defending the rights set out in the Bill of Rights. But now they're the party of fascism and tyranny, party of communism. So do be careful who you choose to represent you. Wait, if you enjoyed that video, please remember to like and share. I can't grow without you. Also, if you want to be reliably notified of new videos, don't forget to subscribe to the newsletter. If you're able to support the production of these videos, I'd appreciate it if you'd subscribe at Subscribestar, or maybe get one of the healthier products, or even get some merch.